Aloha, great job today. We talked about a lot of stuff. The one thing I want you to have as the takeaway from today is you don't have to memorize all this stuff. You really don't even have to know all this stuff. It's just kind of going one ear and out the other until it all starts kind of making sense, and then a little bit of it gets caught up inside the head. At this point, you should be able to know that a major has a 1-3-5, a minor has a 1-flat-3-5. Diminished are fun because it has a 1-flat-3 and a flat-5, and then the augments, which we haven't talked too much about, has a 1 natural 3 or a normal 3 and then a sharp 5. These are fun because you can take any key, like a G major, know that your G is your 1, your B is your 2, and your D is your 5. You scoot that D up, and you get a G augmented. Those chords have a very specific purpose, just like the diminished chords do. If I take that G major and flatten the 3rd, and then flatten the 5th, I get a G diminished. G diminished is groovy because the G diminished is a half-step resolution. So G goes to G sharp major, G sharp diminished, G sharp major. It feels right. We'll talk about this more in depth, but the one you know already is your B diminished. Your B diminished resolves to C major in a C, D, E, F, G, A, B diminished, C, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then resolution is C. So today, what we did was we realized that if I've got a key like the key of G major has an F sharp in it because every note, G, F sharp, G, has a half step before its resolution. It's called the 7th, or the major 7th, or the T, which resolves to Do. If I have a G, after a G in the alphabet, I have A. So I play G major. My second is always going to be a minor. Since I'm in the key of G, G, A minor, what do you think our B is going to be? It's going to be a minor. Our C is going to be a major because it's the 4th. Our D is going to be a major because it's the major 5th. Now, hold on to that D note in your brain. Our E is going to be a minor because it's the minor 6th. What we had covered is the G and the E are super special together because all the notes in G are all the same notes in E. There's only one sharp in the key of G. That is F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So in the key of E minor, there's only one sharp. That's F sharp. So if I play E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, that is an E minor scale, okay? It works off of a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. The reason why that sounds kind of familiar is because a major scale is nothing more than the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. You can do it on one line, and I'll show you the difference. G to A is a whole step. A to B is a whole step. B to C is a half step. Now I've got 3 whole steps. C to D, D to E, and then E to F sharp. If I only went whole step, half step, I would have gone D, E, F, which is incorrectamundo, because we need that T-do, not ta-do. We don't need a flat 7th or that minor 7th. We want a major 7th, giving that major tone, that half-step resolution, like you're falling off a cliff onto the right note. So one thing that's really interesting when we do these, to get more proficient in how to play a major to a minor to a minor to a major to a major to a minor to a diminished to a major, we simply teeter-totter all of our chords. So pick all 7 of your majors that you know, all 7 of your minors, and play them with multiple fingers. We've already done the C, and we're starting on the G, which makes sense, but the one caveat that we really need to pay attention to this week is this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you just attack on the 1, right? So 1, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, one. On that one, you play the chord. On the and, up, you switch the chord. Watch it very slowly. Key of G. G and 2 and 3 and 4. See how I'm already ready for the 1 and I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna pay close attention to make sure all my fingers fall back on the same notes that they were on. And all I'm essentially doing is switching my notes, switching my fingers for the same notes, just different finger. That way, when we do speed this up from something other than just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we speed it up from a whole note into, say, a half note that is attacking on the 1 and the 3, I would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and by the time you get through your whole notes and your half notes doing this exercise, by the time that you get to your quarter notes, which is on the down, 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 it'll be much easier to move that chord back and forth, and they won't be layering anymore. They will actually start happening at the same time because your brain will fill in the gaps and make it happen. So this week, try doing a G, G, and when you can switch between the two, no flaw, and it comes out nice, try for half notes on the 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or count it in 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, signifying that a half note gets 2 beats, my friend. And then if we have a quarter note, well, it has 1 beat. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Notice how my fingers are going back and forth between each one. The reason why, I have already set myself up for success to be able to go 1 and 2 and 1 and moving these back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like this. The next hard one is doing up and down on the right hand with a 1 and 2 and for 8th notes. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, I'm still switching my left hand like I'm doing quarters, but my right hand's playing out some 8th notes. You can do this a whole bunch of different ways, no matter how many ways you know how to play the chord, right? But what we're doing is we're strengthening our core, our muscle memory. Yeah, do it with A major. Those are 16 notes, by the way. Here's what it would always look like. Let's take the key of F. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and... Those are real fast, you don't have to worry about that, but that is the progression of what you want to get to for your teeter-totters. Try it with your C, your D major, your E major, your F major, G major, A major, B major, and C major. Then do your minors. C minor, D minor, E minor, F minor, G minor, A minor, B minor. Then do it with all your diminished if you want. Nah, that's too much. Anyway, we can talk about this next week. You did a wonderful job, and the only other thing I want to explain right now is the easiest thing and the hardest thing ever. The circle of fifths is done in fifths. When you start at 12 o'clock, it's on C. C has no sharps, no flats. If you go to the right of the circle, you start talking about fifths going ahead. 5 notes from C is G. C has no sharps, no flats. C, D, E, F, G. G has 1 sharp. So when I say my natural scale, it's not going to be in the same key as C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's still going to be a major, but it's going to be a C, D, E, F, G, and then I start that same progression from that G. When I do a whole step, G to A, whole step, A to B, half step, B to C, whole step, C to D, whole step, D to E, whole step goes from E to F sharp. If you do a half step from the E, you get an F. And that is not a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's a ta, do, not a ti, do, which it's incorrect. So when we spell it, we have to say G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. On the ook, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, or F sharp, G. I hope this made sense. The other caveat to that is, in the key G, there's one sharp. That sharp is called an accidental. That accidental has 7 notes in that. One accidental leaves 4 other accidentals, which are naturals. So in the key of G flat, every note that's not a accidental in the key of G major is a flat. So in the key of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. F sharp's the only one that was sharp in there. So in G flat, they're all flat except for the F natural. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, G. I hope this makes sense to you. If not, we're just gonna keep reiterating it over and over, week after week, and inevitably, it's gonna become a little bit easier because you're practicing your spider exercises and you're practicing your teeter-totters, being able to get familiar with your fretboard. I really enjoyed seeing you, as I do always week, and I'll see you next week. Aloha.